Hey guys, Ralph here. Welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness on wonderful Wednesday. Wonderful Wednesday. Beautiful day out. There I go with the weather again. The weatherman. Anyway, I got a lot to talk about, so let's get right to it. You saw the thumbnail. Eric Parks, USA's VLADO. A lot of similarities, and I'll get to it. One of them being extraordinary chops for both of them. I mean, just extraordinary chops. Anyway, I have honked a little bit, so let's see what we got. Anyway, you drinking your fruit? Lemonade weight loss? Anyway, I have to say, I knew I had some clients over in the European Baltic areas and all that sort of stuff. I didn't know it was this much. Guys, this guy's name, VLADO, just blew up. Blew up. The comments, the emails, the views, the subscribers just blew up. Guys, this guy got infinitely more hits than Lou Soloff. I mean, God bless him. And I knew nothing about him. And guys, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I said right up front, I know nothing about him. And please, guys, chime in with what you know about him, his mouthpiece and all this sort of stuff. And oh my God, it was overwhelming. It was absolutely overwhelming. Now, I have to say, before we even get into Eric Parks and VLADO and everything, that is pretty much what I had in mind when I created this YouTube channel. Yes, I wanted to spread the word of Jerry, but I want to create a community where we can all sort of, pass our ideas back and forth. And that's happened, and especially with this guy. Anyway, a couple questions. There is, all of a sudden, lots of links under the comments. And there's some beautiful, beautiful trumpet playing. Beautiful trumpet playing. First of all, go to the comments and check out J.J. Martin, and he says very eloquently what is the difference between the Mount Vernon box and the box of the last 60 years. Big difference. Big difference. The fact of the matter is, Herseth was using about Mount Vernon, and monsters like Gazzo and Al Porcino all using Mount Vernon box. Not a lot of variety back then, so that was almost the only game in town, but they made them work. And we'll talk about Gazzo on Friday. But anyway, so if this is what it explains a lot. It explains a lot. And I feel vindicated because it is not the Bach that I am railing against that he is playing. It's a different thing altogether, and JJ will say it beautifully, better than I. Okay, so as far as that's concerned, that's fine. Now, there also is some stuff of him doing basic polkas. Surprise, surprise. The notes pop like you wouldn't believe. Okay? Now, here's the deal. Let's put VLADO aside for a minute. We can come back to him at a later time if I learn some new stuff. But let's put him aside for the minute. The minute I heard him do ice castles, I thought of Eric Parks. Okay? Now, most of my players around New York, my guys around New York, know of him if they haven't played with him. So Ray, Terry, Glenn, Ryan, all you guys, if you have actually played with him that I have not, please comment down below. Okay? Now, I did meet him once Very, very briefly, I mean, he was walking out of a lesson at Jerry's. He's one of Jerry's guys. Walking out of a lesson, I'm walking in. And Jerry said, "Oh, Ralph, I wish you were here 10 minutes earlier. You can't believe how great this guy plays." Now, as I said before on the last one, Jerry does not rave about people's chops. I mean, Harry James and Horst Fisher, yeah. But, and he's never been disrespectful to anybody that I've known. Never. But behind closed doors, he and I, yes, we air our dirty laundry. And he, other than the couple guys that I mentioned, Charlie Shavers was his big guy. He didn't like anybody's chops. Now, very often he'd say, "Oh, no, he's good up to an E or an F." "Yeah, but Jerry, I heard him play a G and A." No, it's not right. He would say that a lot. Now, again, those guys I mentioned, Terry, Ryan, Glenn, whatever. Myself, the last several years, he did give the seal of approval to their chops. Okay? But this guy, he raved about it. Raved about him. Okay? Now, he was formerly the lead trumpet player at West Point. Okay? What is that? The Swinging Knights? It doesn't matter. Okay? So he had his ducks in a row right there. I mean, Mel Broyles and Frank Catarabic played at West Point. They were in the concert band. He was in the jazz band. But this guy, I mean, this is not an easy thing to do. Okay? For the most part, he did freelance around New York. That's why I am asking. But for the most part, he was on retainer to a guy named Jimmy Sturr. The biggest polka band, at least in this country, if not the world. He played with him for 40 years. He was on retainer to him. He made a beautiful living with, along with his retirement from the military and whatnot. And played lead trumpet with him. Now, if you've ever done a polka gig, and I have, not with Jimmy Sturr, guys, that is demanding stuff. That is demanding stuff. It's like a Hasidic gig. I did tons of those. Those are just all night playing. And for him to play this Ice Castles the way you're going to hear, and I left the link down below. You're not going to believe the song. You're not going to believe the tone. Now, if you listen to the two of them, and I'm saying Eric and VLADO, right next to each other, guys, you're going to hear the difference. There is a compression in Eric Parks that VLADO does not have. Now, I'm not saying VLADO, I mean, it's just a different style, okay? But the compression is, oh, baby, just locked in with Eric Parks. And he plays double high Bs as big as a house. And you can just hear it. It's so relaxed. He's got at least a fifth on top of that, at least. A third of workable range, and fifth, maybe at least a fifth. It's that easy and that wide open. It is extraordinary, extraordinary chops. Okay? Now, he has in later years come into some health problems, and I won't get into it. It's none of my business, none of yours. But he doesn't play anymore. So, I mean, don't pass the tin cup at the telethon. He's set up beautifully. He made wonderful money with Jimmy Sturr. 18 Grammys. He was on every single one of them. If it wasn't an individual song, it was an album. Okay? And the album that was that had Ice Castles on it was their biggest selling album. So again, I'm not sure if it was Ice Castles or the album that won the Grammy. But traveling the world, not getting Donald Trump rich, but as far as a musician is concerned, he made some nice bank, some absolute nice bank. Worked hard, but some nice bank. For 40 years, day in and day out, I'm talking 4 or 5 days a week, sometimes 2 or 3 jobs a day. Serious work. And I'll tell you what, there's not that many of them out there, Eric Parks. So if you listen to that Ice Castles and you think you can do it, I can't. If you think you can do it, I can't do it like that. You'll hear it. If you think you can do it, make a recording and send it to Jimmy Sturr. Absolutely. He'll give you a tryout. But I'll tell you what, you better be Eric Park ready. Because he was standing right in front of he was like not 10 feet from the bell. And that tone is hitting him in the forehead. Jimmy Sturr now, 4 or 5 nights a week. He's not going to roll out the red carpet to anything. And quite frankly, you'll hear it. I haven't heard too many guys that can do that. I really haven't. Now that is all on Jerry's mouthpieces. I'm not sure about the trumpet. I know he has a couple of his trumpets. I'm not sure if he was actually using the trumpet on that recording. There's lots of recordings. He has a beautiful, extraordinary Star Spangled Banner. Now, a lot of these things, as you'll hear, and especially with VLADO, now that's another thing. VLADO band, I don't know, and again, if you guys can help me out, basically that band is a polka band. I mean, polka was originated over in Czechoslovakia, okay? And if you look at a lot of VLADO's things on the internet, it's nothing more than, cell phones taking recordings at gigs. Halls with people dancing and all this. It seems like it's the same gig for both of them. That's why I said Eric is USA's VLADO. And Chops, both of them. There is one on there that was sent yesterday. Possibly, no, it was this morning. Okay, it was a little documentary about him. They talked to him a lot, and he talked about his beginnings and all this sort of stuff. I couldn't understand the language barrier, of course, but he did play a tune with the group. I believe it's called Sarah. Beautiful playing. Now here's another thing. If you listen to both those bands, okay, VLADO and Eric are not the only guys in the band with chomps. There's some guys back in the section that are making some noise, man. Making some noise. So, I mean, and I told you, I'm getting long-winded here because I'm so excited about these two. But Jerry said many times, if he was going to start over and be a musician, it would be in Germany, which these guys are not from, but there's just so much work. And also, he just loved that school of trumpet playing. I mean, this is where Doc's Russian, but Benjamin Margolin, we'll do something about him soon and whatnot. This is what was in their ear, and you can hear it. You can hear it. Absolutely hear it. Anyway, Eric Parks, God bless you with your health issues, and VLADO, and thank you so much. The original guy that sent him to me, I didn't know who he was. Wonderful. This just opens up a whole new thing. So anyway, if anybody has anybody else they like, keep the stuff coming. But make it as good as VLADO. There's not too many guys around. Anyway, eat and drink your fruits and vegetables and live your life with true power. Love you all.